Donald Trump and Xi Jinping's high-profile meeting wrapped up in Busan, South Korea, and was described as a great success by the U.S. president. The face-to-face between the leaders of the world's two largest economies lasted for an hour and 40 minutes. In the aftermath, U.S. tariffs on China have been reduced by 10% to 47%. Beijing will also pause export controls on rare earth minerals and, according to the U.S. side, resume imports of soybeans from the United States. For more on this story, here's our correspondent Fraser Jackson reporting from Washington.
Yeah, we got a bit of a debrief with the president on the way back on Air Force One, a gaggle with the press on board. He said on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say the meeting was a 12. He did, however, say that he said, I wouldn't say everything was discussed because there were some things in retrospect we could have discussed that for some reason didn't come up. We'll get onto that in a minute. But the headline announcement really is that rare earth deal has been announced. Of course, remember, China had threatened export controls on 12 rare earth minerals, which are critical for things like batteries and also for things which are used by the military hardware in particular. That threat by China was what caused Donald Trump to threaten a 100% additional tariff on China. Well, now that this kind of ceasefire has taken place on this trade war between the two nations, it has been announced that a deal has been announced for 1 year, which could get extended at the end of that year. But China will not be imposing those tariffs. Those controls, and in retaliation to that, the Donald Trump administration will not be putting in effect those 100% tariffs. So much of a nothing, as it were, at the end of the day. There was movement, however, on fentanyl as well, that deadly drug which has killed scores of Americans every single year. The tariff on that, which was 20%, now cut in half, effective immediately, down to 10%. That's after China has agreed to try to tackle the precursor chemicals that make its way to US shores and cause that drug. So that means that the general tariff rate on China now is about 45%. The other movement that we saw was on chips. Donald Trump had said that he told President Xi to talk to NVIDIA, particularly about the chips that he wanted to buy from that tech giant, but that the Blackwell chips, which are a next-generation AI chip designed for extreme-scale AI inference and training in data centers, those chips will not be included as part of discussions to sell more chips to the Chinese. Other discussions on soybeans. China will be buying huge numbers of soybeans. Once again, that had been something which had riled the US president in the last couple of days. And chiefly geopolitics, which really we were keeping an eye on to see how much prominence that would get in these discussions. Fascinatingly, on Ukraine, Donald Trump said that he didn't discuss with Xi Jinping. He basically said that he wanted to pressure Xi Jinping to stop buying Russian oil and gas, which was funding Vladimir Putin's war machine in Ukraine. And he said that simply didn't come up as a topic. So fascinating that has not come up, because Donald Trump has said many times that that's what he wanted to say to Xi, especially after India said that they would stop purchasing Russian oil and gas. And the other fascinating topic that did not come up at all was Taiwan. Donald Trump said Taiwan didn't come up. That was the exact quote. So a shocking, omission really there from the Trump administration. But there will be a breath of relief from some in the White House who were worried that Donald Trump might shift his stance on Taiwan when he started talking to Xi. And really the other kind of lighter news that came out of this is that Donald Trump will be going to China in April, and that Xi Jinping will be coming to the US sometime after that. So a movement on a lot of different topics, but of course a very important meeting between the world's two big economies.